Hi, I want to take a few moments to introduce you to the Georgia Standards of Excellence for Elementary School and Math. Math has changed since many of us were in school, and how we go about learning and teaching and the objectives and goals for math have changed as we have entered the 21st century. One of the great places to go and learn about this is at georgiastandards.org. And at this site, you can learn about all of the standards, but today we will be concentrating and focusing on math. When you go to georgiastandards.org, this is the page that you will see in front of you. And there is a specific site for parents that gives just some general overviews, some things about the Georgia Standards of Excellence, some testing resources, information about Lexile levels, which is new and helpful for reading, and other information there. I encourage you to go and take a look at that. But back on the home page, from that page, in order to get to the math standards, you will notice that there is a tab at the top for ELA Math. When you open that tab, you will see that you can browse all of the standards, and one of those is the math standards. There is some forums here that teachers use to collaborate with other teachers across the state as they go about looking for best practices to implement the standards. But the actual standards themselves are found right here, and we are going to click on the K through 5 standards. When you do that, you will come to this page. In this page, it shows you how the standards are constantly being modified and changed in order to meet the learning needs of our students. You will see that there is some information about instructional practices, and when you open that, there is a guide here that talks about some of the things happening in math, the 3-act tasks, formative instructional practices, and number talks. You'll hear your students talking about these things, and you can look through here and learn more about it. Going back to that page, one of the best pieces of this is the mathematics glossary. You can open that up, and it gives you information about terms that you may hear your students use that you might not be familiar with. And this is very important and has been helpful to me as a parent to know the terms that are being used and that are above what we ever learned growing up as students. So again, you can go back to and look at all of those terms that are there in the glossary. There are 2 webinars that talk about number talks and about formative lessons, and you could go and watch those webinars and those videos to talk about those particular ways of teaching. Over in the blue box, you can click and open up any grade level, and they all look the same inside the box. There is a curriculum map. The curriculum map shows what is being taught during each unit of the year. And it gives the standards, which this right here doesn't make a great deal of sense. The MGSE3 right now, it will shortly. But this gives the basic overview of the way that the standards are being taught and the order they're being taught in. Then continuing, there is a general grade level overview document. These can be fairly long but can be very helpful as you go about looking at all of the standards. And you can take a look at each of those, but it is also broken down into each of the units. These units are known as frameworks, and the frameworks are somewhat like the textbooks that we used to have as students. And this walks you through what it is that the teachers are teaching, how they are going about teaching it, the practice standards, the content standards, the big idea, the essential questions, the concepts and skills to maintain, the strategies for teaching and learning, and selected terms and symbols, as well as the task and a number of activities that your teacher may choose to use from, as well as other material that they would find to help implement the standards and make sure that your students are successful doing those. This then walks you through each of the different standards and the different objectives that your students are going about in mathematics. This is a wonderful website. It is a great place to go and look at all of the different standards, all of the different terminologies, and all of the different ways your teachers are helping to work to ensure your students are getting mathematic instruction they need to be competitive in our new global economy. I encourage you to visit the site, to take a look at it, to learn about that so that you can help your student as they learn and they grow to prepare for their future.